Welcome back to the Keeping the Dream Alive podcast. Today I have the opportunity to sit down with two representatives from organizations here in Huntsville, one with the Alzheimer's Association and the other with the American Heart Association. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's exciting. To start, do you want to introduce yourself and we'll kind of get started there?
Sure. I'm Stephanie Cline. I'm the Senior Development Director here in North Alabama for the American Heart Association.
And I'm Abigail Mercer. I am the Walk Development Manager for the Alzheimer's Association Alabama chapter.
So tell us a little bit about, I feel like most people listening know a little bit about both of your organizations. But for those who maybe don't, talk a little bit about what your organization does and kind of the clientele you serve.
So the American Heart Association was founded in 1924 by 6 cardiologists. Our mission, of course, is to be a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives. We are excited to move into our second century this coming up year. And the people that we serve are, individuals across the entire country, right here in Huntsville. We do a lot with heart patients, stroke patients, but also just people in general, because a lot of people don't realize that heart disease affects 1 in 3 people, and prevention is key. So we're working with students in, if you've ever heard of the Kids Heart Challenge, we work with kids in schools. We work through all ages. So, from a child who was just born with a congenital heart defect to an elderly person who has been in heart failure or anything else. So we work with many, many people.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Alzheimer's Association, our ultimate goal is to see the world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. We do that really by focusing on care and support, research and education, and advocacy. A lot of people think that Alzheimer's is just a disease for the elderly, and it really isn't. I mean, you can get it when you're 30, 40, 50, 60. And even in the state of Alabama, we have a case in Jacksonville, a family who the son got the gene from his father, and he was diagnosed when he was 7 years old. And so it really does affect every single person. And within the state of Alabama alone, we have over 103,000 people diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And number one, that is only the people who are actually diagnosed. There are so many who never get diagnosed. So many doctors who also don't want to diagnose. And then also number two, those are only the people who are 65 years and older. And then in our nation, we have over 7 million people diagnosed with Alzheimer's with 11 million unpaid caregivers. So this definitely does affect our nation as a whole, but also within the state of Alabama. Alabama is ranked second for the second highest state mortality rate in our nation. So it is impacting the people within our community so deeply and severely.
Yeah. And so to make both of your missions possible, where do you look at finding the funding and kind of the partnerships locally to help further your missions in both your organizations?
I think they're probably similar. Of course, we lean on our friends who are corporate supporters, but not only that, individual personal donors. We also work in grants and foundations. And so, of course, everyone supports those. Of course, when you attend a heart walk or you make a donation to the Heart Association through our Huntsville Heart Walk, or you attend the Heart Ball and you buy an auction item or participate in some way there, I think you're always supporting our local impact here. And so those are really the biggest kind of buckets that we get it from. Of course, there's also like campaigns where it's a point of sale purchase. You can do a point of sale purchase within an industry. And so, those are always different things as well. I'm sure you guys do too, but we have direct mail, of course, too, just like any other organization would.
We kind of work in very, very, very similar ways. Everything she said, we completely do as well. I think a lot of people think that they can only support if they do something in a huge way. If they only give $10,000 to this organization, or if they only can be a full-time volunteer, literally anything and everything does help. Even if it's just spreading the word or telling a friend about the resources that our organizations have. It is so important for the resources, especially a lot of our resources probably on both sides are completely free because of the work that our communities are doing to support our missions. So in general, both of our organizations have a lot of similarities when it comes to community support. We need our communities to be involved. Our organization is completely community driven. I'm just one single person, and our staff does work very hard, but it's my communities that makes the difference.
Yeah, and kind of leaning in on that community involvement. And we've alluded to it a little bit already, but talk a little bit about some of the events that you do on a yearly basis, either fundraising events, walks, whatever it might be, to kind of bring that community in and kind of have them a part of the organization's missions.
Yeah. So do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. My personal job is to do the walk to end Alzheimer's. I have 3 in the state of Alabama, 1 being Huntsville. And it is an incredible day. Honestly, it's like the biggest support group day of the century. And it's a great day to to honor those who we've lost and stand with those who currently have the disease, and also fight for a better future. We have over 600 walks across the nation, and Huntsville, Alabama keeps continually growing and exceeding their goals. This year, our goal was $216,000, and we've raised over $250,000. So we've exceeded our goal, and especially thanks to organizations like Torch for supporting us and for sponsoring us and fundraising. And their employee engagement is so critical to the success of any of the initiatives that we do.
So we have several events here. Just as she was saying, we also do a walk here. Of course, the Huntsville Heart Walk, which Starfish, Torch, Freedom, everyone's been involved in for many years. You guys come out in drones, and we appreciate that. Like, it's insane. That walk, of course, continues to grow. I think just because of the support of our communities. Like, we have such a philanthropic community here in Huntsville. People are just constantly looking for ways to get involved, ways to support. And then, of course, we do have a heart ball here, a gala here that we do in Huntsville as well. And then we also recently, within the last few years, brought in a Hard Hats with Heart event. So it's a construction-based or like industry-specific event where we bring together people from all different parts and different vendors and contractors from the construction world. And we celebrate with them. It is heart disease is very prevalent in the construction industry. And so that was an industry that we really wanted to get in front of, to really educate and inform.
Yeah. And it's incredible just to see, both of your organizations have been around for a while. And so seeing kind of how, as the needs of the community have changed, you figured out better ways to reach that community. And maybe some of the things you've been doing in the past, you're still doing because they do really great jobs, but being able to then adapt and say, hey, let's try this other thing because this industry, this market really needs it. As we are looking at kind of what 2024 was like and going into 2025, what is the biggest need for both of your organizations?
So I think for the American Heart Association, we are looking, as we move into our second century, to really advance health and hope for everyone, everywhere. So no matter what zip code you live in, ensuring that you have proper care, that you have the education and the prevention tools that you need and resources that you need. Things are available on heart.org all the time. And I think also one of the things locally that we're really focused on is we have a very high amount of people with high blood pressure in Huntsville, and also people who don't even realize that they have high blood pressure. So about 46% of people in the state of Alabama have high blood pressure. But that only includes the ones that we know of. So the people who are going to their doctor, the people who are doing the things that they're supposed to. If you're not seeing your physician, we encourage you to go to know your numbers. That's the first start. And so a lot of our work here focuses on that, because if we can if we can educate you to know your numbers, then you can then take on the role of understanding your blood pressure, understanding your blood sugar, understanding your cholesterol. And then also helps to prevent stroke as well. So knowing your numbers is probably one of the biggest things that we are really putting out there within the community, aside from CPR. So that's you're going to see that as a big focus in our walk in 2025. We have a digital experience for you to learn hands-only CPR. Scary statistics, really. 350,000 people die from cardiac arrest each year. We're seeing it happen more and more, and not just older people, because people always think, oh, well, if you're going to die of cardiac arrest, it's probably going to be an older person. We're seeing it happen to young children. We're seeing it happen in our schools and on football fields, on baseball fields, on soccer fields throughout our communities. And 70% of cardiac arrest actually happen outside of the hospital. So what we're finding is that who is equipped to do CPR, who knows it, who feels comfortable. And right now we did a recent poll, and 65% of people say that they feel that they could maybe. So we aim to put at least one person in every household with a knowledge of CPR. So we are, working that here in our North Alabama community. It's going to take some time, but I'm hoping that with the Heart Walk bringing in that whole CPR experience, we're really going to be able to educate some people and make sure that they are equipped to save a life.
Yeah. And for the Alzheimer's Association, what is your biggest need as we move into 2025?
Kind of the biggest need, it's kind of similar to Heart, is we do have so many resources available. We do have so much education available. The thing about the Alzheimer's Association, in comparison, congratulations to you guys coming into your second century.
It's amazing.
That is incredible. With the Alzheimer's Association, in comparison to organizations like Heart, we are so young, so incredibly young. And the fact that we are coming out with drugs already for being so young, we are so proud of that. However, those drugs are only really the first step. Like I keep saying, the ultimate goal is the cure. What I think for 2025, what we really need is to completely spread so much more awareness, because we do have incredible education programs. We do have incredible caregiver support groups, a 24/7 helpline, minimum master's level clinicians and social workers. And all of those things are completely free resources because of our community's involvements. And because we are so young, I think that being in our communities longer and more, and for our corporate partners, our healthcare partners, our research park people, everybody getting more involved and spreading the word, sharing it with their HR departments, sharing it with their clients, their patients, would be so beneficial. Also, with the education piece, a lot of people just think, well, as soon as grandma turns 80 years old, she automatically gets Alzheimer's, and that's not the case. Significant memory loss is not the normal part of the aging process. And so really just re-educating people, breaking the stigma, and letting people realize, hey, you are not alone, because it can feel so, especially as the caregiver too, it can feel incredibly isolating to be in that situation.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too, because it's like for both of your organizations and the people you're serving, they could definitely probably feel as though they are on an island, they're by themselves.
Yes.
And I think knowing that both of your organizations are there to support, and there's free resources, and there's these ways in which the community, people listening, can be involved with to further the knowledge. I feel like for both of your organizations, it's just educating people on what it is, not necessarily on the solutions for it, but it's what it is and how do we prevent it, or how do we support if something was to happen, like with the CPR. If anyone's listening and they do want to connect, they do want to find out more information, they want to donate, they want to volunteer, where's the best place to find y'all?
So I'm going to give you my email address, because I think that's the easiest way. They could reach out to me, Stephanie. It's STEPHANIE .Cline, CLINE @heart.org.
Okay.
There's also, like we've said many times, there's resources on heart.org at all times. If you're looking for a healthy hamburger recipe, if you're looking for a healthy pizza recipe, the holidays are coming up. You want to make a Christmas or a holiday New Year's treat that's festive, but you want to keep it heart healthy, you can literally go to heart.org. And I love that we can just search in the search bar at the top. You can just type something in and it will come up with the recipes you're looking for. If you're ever just needing resources about heart disease, stroke, CPR, again, the search bar is there. I always tell people, just type it in. It's like Google for AHA. And so there's many resources on heart.org as well. But if they want to get involved locally, definitely reach out to me. Send me an email. We'll set up some time to chat and see where their interests are, whether they're, donor interest or even if they're volunteer interest.
Awesome.
Yeah, our website is alz.org. We also have the 24/7 helpline that I mentioned. This is minimum master's level clinicians and social workers, 24/7, multiple languages available. That number is 800-272-3900. And then also my email as well is amercer@alz.org. I am local. Sometimes with some organizations, you get somebody who's out from Birmingham or not local to you. I'm a local Huntsville person, a human being to sit and talk with you and share stories and connect with you. So definitely the website, the helpline is a huge number for sure. And then my email.
Awesome. And we'll be sure to have all the information in the episode notes. So if anyone's listening and they didn't get to write down your emails when you said them, they'll be in the episode notes and people can find out more information. But I appreciate you taking the last little bit, talking about your organizations. The impact you're having in the community is evident. And I think the impact you're going to continue to have for years to come is going to be amazing to see. So I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.